We provide passenger rail reservation systems. So when you book a ticket on a train for long distance travel, we provide the services and the software for that. Similar to if you were booking a flight anywhere and you book a seat on a particular flight and pick a meal, then you can do the same thing through a rail reservation system. So that's what we provide. I guess being a small startup and with no external funding, we were looking for cost-effective and value-for-money solutions. So we had a look around, or I specifically had a look around. As my role as CEO, I was left with these kinds of tasks at the beginning. So I had a look around and saw that Lawpath seemed to provide I guess a perfect match for us as a business in what we were looking for, and that was primarily from a legal standpoint, but obviously not being a lawyer and not really having that much of a background from a contractual standpoint or dealing with contracts, hiring employees, that sort of thing. My background was more in sales. I could, it sort of opened my eyes to what was offered by Lawpath. So we utilised the virtual office, which is great, but also from a business standpoint, just the understanding the governance that's required as a new company and startup, and what's required in terms of managing shareholders and all of the documentation and resolutions that go along with it, making sure that we keep basic up to date and informed with what's going on inside the company. To dealing with making offers to our first employees and getting that letter of offer out, putting in place those agreements and just making sure that all the documentation goes along with that, to onboarding those employees. And then beyond that, we started doing agreements with other companies. So I could utilize the agreement templates that Lawpath had in their library, so that was fantastic. And then, I guess most critically of all, were the legal services that we took advantage of. So we deal with enterprise or government agencies. So these are typically very large contracts. Our contract is probably over 300 pages long. It is over 300 pages long. So there is a lot to go through. But even still, the legal services that Lawpath offered were fantastic and really helped us get across the line and helped us be successful in what we were trying to achieve as an organisation. The document library itself is it to me has been an incredible time saver. So I would think that anybody in a position of starting a business, in some respects, you don't always know what you don't know. And you sort of cross that bridge when you come to it. And so having a resource like Lawpath and the documents available is really, really useful. And some of that is a little bit of, they're split up into different sections, so it's easy to find stuff. But I think the other thing is when I started to look at using the AI portion of Lawpath, then you get to ask some questions that might be a little bit left field, if you like, and you get some very good responses. I was quite surprised at how well the AI chat worked and the sort of guidance or advice that it could provide. So that's been really useful for us as a business as well. But I think overall, it's saving me a lot of time, and I don't really need to get concerned about things that I don't necessarily know about straight away. I guess when you're running your own business, you want to be across those legal aspects a lot more. And so it was a pretty steep learning curve for myself, but certainly we were working with Damon at Lawpath and Damon Murdoch, and I had, he provided a lot of information, walked through understanding of the contract, and so was able to give me the assurance that everything was fine, and also provide that that timely advice that we required in ensuring that we were looking after ourselves as well as being successful in getting a a contract signed. So we've got a couple of new areas of business that we're looking to move into, kind of aligned to what we're delivering today. But again, they will be new areas of business for us. So that means hiring more people, but it also means drafting new contracts, getting different agreements in place. And so we expect to fully utilise more of Lawpath's resources in the near future. But some of those will be fairly straightforward agreements, and some will be very, very complex. And it's good just knowing that we have effectively a one-stop shop for all of our legal requirements. So that works very well for us. I think if I was a startup, and I have worked for other startups, both out of the UK as well as from Silicon Valley, and specifically in software, but for me, Lawpath would be a no-brainer as far as they're concerned. Us right now, the fact that we deal with very large enterprise and government agencies as well as companies overseas, I do consider ourselves a very complex organisation from a compliance and legal standpoint, and we've certainly been able to derive tremendous value out of Lawpath. And I really don't think that there would be another company that's doing anything more complex than what we're doing. And given the fact that we've had a fantastic experience with Lawpath, I think it should be a no-brainer for anyone, really.